The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Aaron Glenn says, bet your ass we're going to copy this from the Knicks. Can the Jets actually do it? We'll talk about that, plus the latest from minicamp. Omari Brown is going to join me. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started.
We sitting here, we excited as hell.
Now it's time to get to work. Are you a happy guy?
Oh my goodness, let's go!
I haven't felt joy talking about the Jets in a long time. When they announced it, I went, yeah! Jets, let's go! A new chapter for the Jets has started. Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji are tasked with shaping the future of this franchise. Will they be the ones to finally get it right? We will be here for every step of the journey on the Jake Asman Show, breaking down all the storylines, every game, and everything in between. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chats, baby. Cut the line. The Jake Asman Show starts right now.
Here we go, Jet fans. Welcome in, everybody. It is indeed the Jake Asman Show, presented by PrizePicks. If you're coming to the Knicks parade tomorrow, see on the screen there the important details. Get there early, 7:30 a.m. or earlier. We will secure a spot near City Hall and come hang out with a bunch of Asmaniacs in the morning, and then we'll head over to American Whiskey after the parade. American Whiskey is right next to Madison Square Garden. Great spot to hang out, celebrate the Knicks, and spend the day basking in the glory of being a world champion. Before we bring on our guest, big announcement we made yesterday. Wayne Crabett is coming to Gangrene Beach Club. No, he won't be in a Speedo, but he's going to be hanging out with a bunch of Asmaniacs and all our special guests. If you want to meet Wayne and join us on July 11th at HQ2, head to gangrenebeachclub.com. And one final note. Today at 3 p.m., the latest Jets Collective is live on the Jets Collective YouTube channel. So if you're watching this after 3 Eastern, check out our latest episode as Rich will be recapping the latest from today's minicamp practice, among a bunch of other topics. Only one live Jake Asman Show today because we're doing a live Jets Collective this afternoon. With that, we say hello now to our guy, Omari Brown. Omari, how we feeling, man? The Knicks are world champions, baby.
Say it again. Say it again, Jake.
World champions.
Oh, it feels amazing. It feels amazing. I'm still adjusting to this new life as a Knicks fan and being a Knicks fan of the world champion Knicks. Seeing our guys on Good Morning America, seeing them take over the Tonight Show, man. After delivering a historic playoff run, man. It's been awesome to watch. So, listen, the vibes are feeling high, man. The vibes are high. We're feeling good. And then we're hoping that can trickle over into some of the other organizations and franchises in the same area. So it's just been a blast. It's been an absolute blast.
Yeah, we are the champions. Me and my friends from New York. We love the Knicks.
Yeah, baby. Mikey Midnight knows. So, Omari, the Knicks are having an influence, apparently, on the Jets. This was Aaron Glenn being asked about the Knicks winning it all yesterday.
The Knicks, go Knicks, go Knicks. I tell you what, that was beautiful. Here's the thing that I thought was so beautiful about the way that it operated. And I don't know it for sure, but I think those guys were down in a number of games that they've played. And you think about how they operated in that first quarter and second quarter. Then that third quarter, man, it was a totally different team. And you hear me, you probably heard me say this word before, but competitive stamina. And that is something that those men showed throughout that whole series. And that's a real thing. It's a real thing. It's something that I've talked to our guys about since phase one. To be honest with you, that's something that we're working on. And the way you do that is, me as a coach, I have to make sure I create that in practice. And it's hard to do it in OTAs because the physical part of it. But once we go to training camp, you can bet your ass that we're going to work on competitive stamina because those Knicks, those guys showed it.
competitive stamina, something the Jets are focusing in on. Is that feasible for the 2026 Jets to have some of that competitive stamina that the Knicks showed?
Absolutely. And I think that if where the Jets are right now, you're coming off of, years. The Knicks were in the same spot, man. The Jets haven't made the playoffs in 15 years. The Knicks were right in that spot. You look back to 2019, the Jets actually had better odds in the preseason to win the championship than the Knicks. It's all about getting those right hires. And a lot of us do feel that Darren Muji is the right man for the job. The jury is still out on Aaron Glenn. But again, you look at Brandon Stevens, he's been having, and you could take this for what you want, he's been having a solid OTAs and minicamp. He's going to be competing with AZ Thomas. You look at AD Mitchell, he's going to be competing because we hope that Omar Cooper Jr. and some of those other younger guys are going to push him to compete as well too. So there's competition all around the roster. You look at running back too. You look at the third linebacker spot. You could even look at the safety spot outside of Minka Fitzpatrick. So there are areas on this roster where, nothing's going to be guaranteed. So I think he's doing a great job of establishing the base that competitive stamina is going to be our thing. And if you want to get on the field, you're going to have to compete. So, and again, one of my biggest knocks on the Saleh nucleus or the Saleh personnel that he got in, I just thought that at times they were mentally weak. And one thing, I think the superpower of the New York Knicks was that they just didn't give up. Like they just kept fighting. They always fight. And honestly, they even conditioned us as fans because it even sounds delusional, right, Jake? You're like, if they're getting blown out by 25, what are you saying to yourself? Let's just get it down to 10 or let's get it to 12 at the fourth quarter and we're right in striking distance. So the Knicks not only, believe in themselves, they also condition the fan base to believe that if it's close in the fourth quarter, they're going to get it done.
Well, it's amazing because in all the NBA Finals games the Knicks played, they were down by at least 10 after the first quarter. And I made a joke after the first quarter of Game 5. I'm like, the bad news is the Knicks are down by at least 10 or more for the fifth straight game. The good news is the Knicks are down by 10 or more for the fifth straight game. And, sure enough, they get down 16 on the road in the Game 5, and they come all the way back and obviously win. I think a big issue for the Jets over the years, and you alluded to this, anytime they face any sort of adversity, they fold. And if you're ever going to turn it around, you need to have guys that can overcome adversity because adversity is going to strike. And it's how you handle it that determines whether or not you're actually going to make something of your season.
Yeah. And again, we're going to keep, there's going to be a lot of Knick correlations here because you think about it, the Knicks, when they first came here, they had to get that stink of losing off. The We Hear Knicks, that really got things in motion. And then when Brunson came, it just put things into overdrive. But remember, they lost the semifinals in Miami, and then the back-to-back years getting eliminated by the Pacers. So again, they've had, it's been a slow build. It's been a slow build. So this thing isn't going to happen overnight. So you're thinking this is year 2 of the Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji regime. This is going to be a building block, and what the one thing that I'm hopeful about right now, and again, this is hope season. I'm hopeful that he's been able to bring in some guys that match his personality and match his and match his, I would say, personality of how he wants to be on the field. I think he inherited a lot of players from the previous regime. Now, while they were talented individually, I don't think they ever meshed well as a team and didn't really contribute to winning. So I think this year is going to be it's going to feel a lot like, hopefully it could feel a lot like those We Hear Knicks.
I think the biggest thing they have to do from a Jet standpoint, if they want to try and copy the Knick blueprint, is like Gino is Julius Randle. Like, just we need to raise the floor and get back to being a respectable franchise. Like, this team needs to play meaningful games. They need to be not looked at as a joke. That's what Tom Thibodeau came in and provided. Obviously, it's different from a Jet lens because Glenn's already been here and he's on the hot seat after how bad year 1 was. But you got to just hope that he learned from year 1 and hired a much better staff, and this team's in a better spot, because the idea that they're just going to flip a switch and be champions right away, that's not what the Knicks did. They built towards this over several years.
Yeah, they did. And then sometimes I kind of, and I know that it's not, the reality is this is year 2, but I'm almost looking like this at it that like it's year 1, because what did the Knicks do when they first brought over Tibbs? They signed a bunch of guys on hungry veterans that fit Tibbs' style, but they were all on 1-year deals. You think about Nerlens Noel, you think about Reggie Bullock, you think about Elfrid Payton. Now, if you already said that Geno Smith could be the Julius Randle, But then you got David Onyemata on a 1-year deal. You got Demario Davis. You got Dylan Parham. These are a lot of scrappy guys that, came from other organizations. Now again, Demario's had some winning. There's not really any championship DNA, but there are guys that are here on 1-year deal, and that if they want to stay in the league, they know that they're going to have to perform. So, we could dig deep, and there are a lot of correlations, and there's some similarities there. So I think that this is a good base point, and I think, I think that Glenn has enough in his arsenal of his players to where that there aren't going to be any excuses. But I just think that it's much easier to relate to the locker room when those guys fit your mentality.
Speaking of the locker room, the Jets were busy this week handing out an extension to one of their own. We'll get into the Joe Tippmann deal in a moment, but Knicks fans, this is for you. If you want a Knicks NBA champion shirt, one of the shirts you see there on the screen, that is the raffle prize. At the end of this show, only one live Jake Asman show today. We got the Jets Collective at 3 p.m., so you're going to get me there instead. So if you want in on the raffle, now is the time. Shout out to Nate_ESQ, the first to enter the raffle. He is in for 5 total entries today.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Gift the membership or send in a super chat or Venmo to qualify. Venmo is Jake-Asman if you want in. Here are the top prizes in Raffle 78, which will be on Sunday this week. Garrett Wilson signed helmet, Joe Klecko signed helmet, Darrelle Revis end zone pylon, 2 tickets to Gangrene Beach Club, and a Jalen Brunson NBA Finals jersey. Those are the prizes. Gift away for your chance to win.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Don't leave.
Who let the dogs out?
Don't leave.
Joe Tippmann, he's a dog. Big fan of Joe. He gets a new deal from Darren Muji and company. What was your take on the Tippmann extension, Omari?
I love that. You and I called it after Brees got his deal. We said the next guy up should be Joe Tippmann. And again, it just makes sense. I believe the deal works out. I believe it was 4 years, $62 million. The final numbers were, and it makes him the 15th highest paid guard in the league. Yeah, he's just everything that you want. He's a former 2nd-round pick. He's been durable. He can play. He's a team first guy because he is a center. He was drafted as a center. He played center in college. But again, he moved over to guard once ABT got hurt for the betterment of the team. He could have just said, hey, listen, I really want to play center. I really want to cement myself here. But again, he's always available to the media, and you need to start to build around those type of guys. And I know, I made a tweet saying that, hey, that Muji has extended a lot of these guys. He's given out more extensions than the previous 2 GMs did it over a 10-year span. Now, I know that these aren't his players, but these are all players that we do think that the team should build around. So I absolutely loved it. You lock up, you have your 3 key offensive linemen. We're going back to the championship blueprint. You have your 3 offensive linemen. They're all 25 or younger. And I just think it was a no-brainer. It was a no-brainer from a on-the-field performance and in the locker room presence.
It's kind of wild how the Jets offense is truly set up regardless who the potential quarterback is a year from now. Like, the offensive line has 3 above average starters. Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall signed for the next couple of years. Mason Taylor, Sadiq, Omar Cooper Jr. Feels like we have the infrastructure for whoever the quarterback might end up being in 27.
Yeah, and it's not just, and this isn't just a short-term thing. I think that the infrastructure is there for long-term. I think right now you could get a 2-year runway with Geno, and then hopefully this can parlay into an 8-year window because, like you said, all of these guys are 27 or younger, and most of these guys are locked up. And again, you can upgrade at a lot of the spots, but I even put this back to you. I can't even think of the last time the Jets have had this many young, talented offensive players that could be potentially locked up for a 5-year window. So I think probably since that 2010, that Sanchez year with the talent that they had, and even then you knew that wasn't going to be long-term because a lot of those guys were veterans. I think that this is the best spot the Jets have been in probably since I've been a fan. I'm not sure how would you feel about that?
Yeah, I agree. It just, so much of it is coach and quarterback, and at least they're equipped to, I don't want to say like get it right because you still got to get it right, but they're an attractive job for the next coach if Glenn can't figure it out. And quarterback wise, I mean, I'm not asking Geno Smith to do anything he hasn't done recently. Just be above average, be competent, and this team should have the makings of a real offense.
Yeah, and it's so funny that you say that because for the last 6 years, all we've wanted as fans is just marginal QB play. We've always felt that with marginal QB play, this team should have been at minimum in the hunt graphic come Thanksgiving time. And I think if you do get marginal QB play with this team, they're going to surprise a lot of people. But again, and again, just to go back to the Knicks parallel, we can say Leon Rose is Darren Muji. Again, he's brought in players that just all fit together. Instead of going superstar hunting like previous regimes wanted to do and most fans wanted to do, he decided to build a great team around his best player. So, you look at what Darren Muji's been able to do. The only thing that, like you said, he's gotten the talent in here. Now we have to see if it's the right coach because it's apples to oranges when you think about the NBA to the NFL. I think in the NBA you can get by on just being talent, and I don't think that the coaching is as important as it is in the NFL. Because I think in the NFL you're starting to see that you probably want a better coach. You probably need a better coach, probably more than you need, supreme talent. So that's going to be the differentiator. I do think that the talent level's been raised, but again, I think that we still have so many question marks at the coaches. But again, it's good to have talent, and I think that last year the team was devoid of talent. So in some of those 50-50 games, I think that the talent that they've added is going to be able to be the differentiator in some of those games. Hopefully those go in favor of the Jets coming up this year.
Breaking sports news on the Jake Asman Show.
Omari, some of the details from Joe Tippmann's contract are officially out there from Spot Track. 4 years, $62 million, the base value, $21.4 million guaranteed at signing, $13.5 million more next March. So Joe Tippmann can definitely buy that house that him and his wife were talking about they wanted to buy. $4.4 million of incentives, 3 years, $36 million is the true value of the deal. Cap hits, you see $3.8 million this year, 14.1 the following, 15.6 in 28, 2029, 17.6, 2030, 15.6. This is an incredibly reasonable deal for a guy who is still a young 25-year-old who I think has still not even played his best football of his career to this point.
I think that it's a phenomenal deal. I think that by the time we get to 2028, we're going to be saying that Joe Tippmann deal is a bargain. And that's what you want to do. The cap hit is very low in 2026. It kicks in, and that's going to put him right. I think he's going to be the 15th highest paid guard. And the way that most of us feel about Joe Tippmann, I think that he's going to outperform that contract. Hopefully the hope is that, he gets another deal because he's exceeded that. So again, the way Darren Muji has structured all of these deals, I think the way he's gone about the business being proactive, I love a proactive GM. I think that a lot of the times when you let these things linger on, it can become, a distraction in the locker room. Everything is getting done. We're going into training camp right now, and there's no, like we're fishing. I think that we're fishing for things that are wrong with the locker room, and everyone seems to be in good spirits. Now, again, when adversity starts to hit, that's really when you see, but you look at Geno, you look at even Breece Hall. Everybody wants Breece Hall to just take more of that leadership role, and he alluded to that. He and Garrett being on the leadership council, they're the youngest in the leadership rooms, but that goes a long way. When these guys are able to play free because they're secure. They can be a part of the leadership council. They can be in the community a little bit more because they know that they're going to be here. Geno even talked about investing into the community. So these are the things that you want to hear from a team. And I feel like in the past, there just wasn't enough. There wasn't much buy-in because there was just a lot of uncertainty, and there just wasn't a commitment at all times between the front office and the players.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Giveaway today, Knicks fans, is an NBA Finals Knicks champion t-shirt ahead of the Knicks parade. Weekly raffle prizes. We announced those earlier. Among the top prize is a Garrett Wilson signed helmet. So make sure you enter for your chance to win. Raffle is at the end of this show. If you're watching live, like the Rooster is, the Rooster, a huge Knicks fan. He's in the Asmaniac raffle for not one, not two. How about 5 channel membership?
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? We got some dogs on this team, man.
If you hear your name, the Rooster made you a channel member. St. Bernard, Blackjack, NYJ Lunatic, Sarah Lane, and Liberty5 all receiving a gifted membership there from the Rooster. All right, Omari, let's get into the Brendan Sorsby situation. Here's a timeline of events. April 27th, the NCAA begins an investigation. Sorsby enters treatment for his gambling addiction. May 18th, Sorsby sues the NCAA after being ruled ineligible. May 19th, Texas Tech University petitions the NCAA for reinstatement. May 22nd through the 26th, the NCAA denies Texas Tech's reinstatement petition. Texas Tech appeals the NCAA decision. June 8th, Sorsby is granted a temporary injunction. June 15th, Sorsby to enter the NFL's supplemental draft. Your thoughts on where we are currently at right now, where all signs appear for Brendan Sorsby to be entering the supplemental draft, which will be held at some point in July?
Yeah, I think that this is the right move for Brendan Sorsby because it was going to be a huge distraction for him. They already had Big 12 schools saying that they weren't going to compete. They were going to forfeit games. So it was just way too much legal issues and off the field stuff for Sorsby to continue at Texas Tech. So I think that this is going to be the right move for him. And again, it's a quarterback, Jake, and it's always about, the next best thing with the quarterbacks. That's why sometimes unless you have a guy, the most popular guy from the fan base is going to be the backup quarterback because you're always looking for the next best thing, or you just with quarterbacks, it's always just like, well, if you don't have a guy, let's just keep throwing darts. Now, again, somebody's going to use a third rounder on Brendan Sorsby. For the Jets, I personally just don't think that it's a fit. The Jets are really they're going in the right direction. And we just talked about it, all the good things that they're doing. Like, they're signing their players. They got a lot of high character guys. Darren Muji's doing a tremendous job. And the only thing that's really left right now is to see if he can identify a quarterback. I don't think that Brendan Sorsby is the right quarterback for the Jets. Now, let's talk about the talent. I do see talent there. Now, again, he played at Cincinnati. Like the competition in that conference isn't going to, shock you. He had a, 61% completion percentage. He does make some good throws. And I understand why you can get the Caleb Williams or the Patrick Mahomes comparisons because he is going to drop down to sidearm a few or on some crossing routes. He is going to take a ton of chances. But again, he is not a finished product. So, and this is all due respect to people in the industry that feel that he has first round tape. Me personally, I did not see that. I look at the Utah game specifically. He's 11 for 33 against Utah. So anytime he played tougher competition, he did struggle. His completion percentage is already pretty low from where you want it to be for an NFL quarterback at 61%. Jake, that drops to 44% when he's moved off his second target. Okay, and I think that his completion percentage when he has to look to his left drops significantly as well too. He's sailed a lot of throws when he has to go off his first read, and his deep ball accuracy needs some work as well too. But again, if you told me that the Jets would take a swing in the fourth round, I would absolutely do it. I would absolutely do it, or maybe even the fifth. But again, in terms of fit, I just don't like the fit with the off-field concerns, and I just don't think that this New York market. We've seen the New York market, spit up and chew out, swallow and chew up some of the guys with, no off-the-field issues. I mean, you just look at Sam Darnold. I truly believe the reason that the Jets, and I'm not going to be one of those, hindsight people that say that Sam should have stayed here. Sam was mentally shot as the quarterback of the New York Jets, and we thought that Sam had all the intangibles in the world. So I just don't think that the Jets are in the position to take that risk the same way I felt about Ty Simpson. So I think that he should go to a more stable situation with an organization that has a history of not only developing QBs, but rehabilitating the man.
I just think when you're the Jets and your coaching staff is coaching for their lives, you already have Klubnik. If you're going to now use another pick, put that quarterback in the QB room, I just don't see how everyone's on the same timeline to actually get Brendan Sorsby the development he needs to be successful. Then let's say if it doesn't work with Aaron Glenn, the next coaching staff comes in, like, how do they feel about Brendan Sorsby? I just think there's a lot of unknowns. I don't think the Jets are the team where it makes sense. I think a team like the Vikings or the Steelers, the Rams, even though they took Simpson, like just teams that have their coaching staffs in place. I just think that makes incredibly more sense than the Jets, who I think have done well positioning themselves to get their long-term answer at that position in the 27 draft.
Yeah, I'd even go further, Jake. The Baltimore Ravens. You know exactly what you have there with the Baltimore Ravens. I think the perfect fit would be Andy Reid. Andy Reid has rehabilitated
Yeah.
a few quarterbacks, and you know that he has a soft spot because of the history in his own family. So the rehabilitating the man, Andy Reid has done that before. You look. I think Michael Vick is the most. I think is his most successful rehabilitation project. And I think that would be great for Brendan Sorsby, the man, and also Brendan Sorsby, the quarterback. But yeah, like you said, if the Jets are going to use any 2027 capital for a quarterback, I think they should use it on a veteran to where if anything, God forbid anything happens to Geno Smith and he's not able to go, and Cade Klubnik, you don't feel comfortable with throwing him into the fire, throw a day 3, a 2027 day 3 pick at a Will Levis, throw a day 3 2027 pick at a Mason Rudolph if they're going to go and bring in Brendan Sorsby, or throw it out a Spencer Rattler, who isn't going to be the guy anymore because I think New Orleans has pretty much given all their support to Tyler Shuck. I think I would like to see the Jets go in that route rather than bringing in a kid that's going to have to answer a bunch of questions, and rightfully so, about his off the field issues.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Raffle for the Knicks shirt, Knicks championship shirt at the end of the show. If you're not a Knicks fan, you could pick a Jets jersey of your choosing. Garrett, Brees, Geno, DeMario, or any of the Jets first round picks. We want a prize for everyone on the show. We're talking Brendan Sorsby. This was Aaron Glenn yesterday, asked by Brian Costello about Sorsby.
Brendan Sorsby affects his staff declared yesterday that he's going to apply for the supplemental draft.
Yep.
If the NFL does approve that, would you guys have interest in exploring that?
I'm focused on the guys that we have here now, and that's something that I'm sure me and Mooja talk about. But listen, I got the quarterbacks here that we're focused on right now.
Just one follow-up on it. Apart from the evaluation
Yep.
of him as a quarterback, the off-the-field stuff, the gambling issues, would that disqualify him in your eyes?
I have no idea what that is, to be honest with you. I heard about it, I see it on TV, but I don't want to respond to that because I have no idea of the inner workings of that. It's not fair to that player for me to do that.
And that's a good answer by Glenn.
Great answer. Can I ask you something? Do you think that what is your assessment about Glenn as far as how he's been with the media and how he's answered questions at the podium so far in a year or two?
Yeah, I think he's been better. I think there's clearly been a shift in his tone, his temperament with these pressers. I think naturally that happens when you go 3-14 though in year one. I want to see how he is if they lose to Robert Saleh week 1 and he's asked questions about how important is week 2 to not start 0-2 and spiral out of control, and how he handles if there's just an early season brutal loss or a coaching decision he is criticized for, and is he getting snappy with Kaz like last year when Kaz asked him about making a quarterback change and he goes, "What type of question is that?" And then he does it a week later. I just think it's all fine now in June. How are you when the games actually count and the scoreboard is determining whether or not you're doing a good job?
Yeah, that's fair. I just think that I appreciate his demeanor, and I think the feelings that you and I and majority of the fans base would have is if he came in with this demeanor. So I think that I think he's been humbled a little bit, but I thought that a lot of his questions, he's given him, he hasn't put his foot in his mouth as much, and it seems like he seems to be learning on the job, which is a good thing, because coaches need to be developed as well too. And I've talked about this, and I think that I know that you've talked about Seth Ryan as well too. So there needs to be some coaching development and also a coaching funnel, and as well as a player funnel. So I see, I'm not trying to be overly optimistic right now, but I do see some changes and some improvements on the margins.
Comments, questions, super chats, cut the line. Omari Brown from I was about to say U Stadium, but now JetX is you're doing some great work as well. So Omari is everywhere making content for the people. Who'll be also appearing at Gangrene Beach Club. I cannot say this enough. I'm pumped. Shout out to Lou B for making it happen. HQ2 is bringing in a big gun. Wayne Krabet is joining us at Gangrene Beach Club. So lock in your spot, and you can join myself, Samini, BT, Fireman Ed, Connor Hughes, Antoine Staley, Kaz, Ryan Sampson, Zach Rosenblatt, Will Pa, Frankie Vitz, Omari, of course, O'Leary, Green Bean, Ryan Delaney, Richie, Sabo, Dom C, Blewett, Faria, Boy Green, Bree Martinez, Nick Shine, Tyson Rouch, and many, many more. GanggreenBeachClub.com to get your ticket. Sam in the raffle for 2 says, I am loving this even keel take on Sorsby. What other areas of the roster can the Jets focus on improving? Omari, your thoughts on the backup QB situation, because I know you and I spoke off there. You think there's a chance the Jets could add a veteran QB?
Yeah, absolutely. And, my preference would be to go for one of those guys. Again, because you have a rookie, you have a veteran in Geno Smith. Now I kind of want to get somewhere in the middle. So I want like a younger veteran. So my thinking is, again, Spencer Rattler. In free agency, I wanted somebody like Sam Howell. So somebody that's been in the league for, let's say, 2 to 4 or 5 years that can come in and you still think that their best football's ahead of them. Before Geno Smith was brought in, I was all in on Davis Mills. So I would say Spencer Rattler. I've been pounding the table for Will Levis. So I definitely wanted that. I'm not sure if that's going to happen now with the Titans being the first matchup, or even somebody like Mason Rudolph. Now again, these aren't names that are going to excite you, but if something does happen, let's say for argument's sake the Jets are like 3-4 or 3-5, and there's an injury to Geno Smith, and you just don't feel that Cade Klubnik is ready yet. Wouldn't you feel better knowing that you had a guy, even if it is a Will Levis that has starting experience, or a Mason Rudolph that's won some games for the Pittsburgh Steelers, or even Spencer Rattler, Spencer Rattler has some arm talent. And I think that that's somebody that you can, mold and grow, and that could be a long-term backup, and that just really raises the level of the quarterback room. So that's what I will be looking at too. In terms of other roster spots that I think that they need to improve, running back too. Jake and I, we talked about this offline, and we talked about this last week as well too. I think running back too is an area to where they desperately need more assurances there. Because I don't know about you guys, the Jets are one Breece Hall injury away from Braylon Allen and Isaiah Davis being your tandem going forward, and that doesn't help me sleep better at night. So I would say running back too, and again, I would look at running back rooms that are crowded. So I'm looking right at Arizona. You spent the 3rd overall pick on Jeremiah Love. You also brought in Tyler Algier. You have James Conner and Trey Benson. Let's try to get one of those guys out of there. San Francisco's running back room is pretty overcrowded at this point as well too. So I think even the Saints, even though I think that Alvin Kamara would probably retire before he leaves New Orleans, but again, I would be looking for those areas as well too. And then if you want, you could say interior O-line, you could shore up some of that too. But I'm of the thought process that I would like to see what Inez Cooper will want to do. And then you could always say linebacker as well too. So those would be the spots that I think that the Jets should focus on. And we'll get into that as well, because there's going to be some roster cuts downs. There's going to be some veterans that are released because they don't want to take pay cuts. So there's still some time for Darren Muji to catch up to Howie Roseman in the trade market.
Trader Mooj. We know Mooj is always looking to wheel and deal, so you never know. You're certainly right about that. Can I give some love to our guy, John J. Williams, who last week won the Garrett Wilson jersey art frame plate in the raffle? He's trying to win another prize. He is in for 2. He sent me a Zelle. That's right, AsmanJake at Gmail to Zelle. Jake-Asman on Venmo, where you can just gift or super chat. We prefer you to gift if you can, so the entire Asmaniac community can benefit. So Rex Ryan was at Jets training camp, or Jets mini camp, I should say, yesterday, and he apparently gave a speech to the team. I can't wait. See what I did there? Can't wait for the Jets to release the Rex speech to the team in their docuseries they do. But these are some of the photos that the Jets official website posted yesterday. Pretty surreal seeing Rex wearing Jets gear back at One Jets Drive. This was a photo that the Jets posted of Rex and Geno in 2013 and Rex and Geno yesterday at practice. But it just brings positive vibes for the Jet fan to see sexy Rexy doing his thing over at Jet practice. Here's a video that the Jets posted as well of Rex and Geno, Rex and Demario Davis. Crazy. He coached both these guys. They're still in the league. It is surreal.
Yeah. And you know what? Rex was right about Double D, man. He said that he reminded him of Ray Lewis. He said he's going to have a long career, and he was, unfortunately, it wasn't with the Jets, man. But Rex was spot on with his draft night take of Demario Davis. That is, time flies, man.
Seth Ryan, passing game coordinator. His dad, Rex, the last head coach that had the New York Jets in the playoffs, man. Hopefully, the vibes are bringing a Geno back, Demario, Seth Ryan. Hopefully, the karma for the Jets will start to change because, God, do we need it to.
No, we do. And again, to bring it back to the Knicks, Jalen was there the last time the Knicks were in the finals. Seth Ryan was here last time the Jets were relevant. Yep. So, there are some parallels, man.
There's no doubt about that.
Jet, right? Because Buddy Ryan was a coach. Yeah.
So. Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here come the Jets, man.
Miss those days, man. Miss those days. It's surreal how long it's been.
Yeah. Yeah. The Jets had a funny caption, too. He said, I'd hate to be a snack today.
Open phone lines for those of you who want in on the conversation. Again, only one live show today because we have the Jets Collective this afternoon. So I'm still doing another show. I just wanted to give you guys an update. If you're expecting an afternoon show, 3 p.m., Jets Collective, YouTube channel, or wherever you get your podcast. Speaking of podcast, this show is always available on either Apple or Spotify. Just search Jake Asman Show, and you can listen to anything you might have missed. We're going to get to your calls coming up. So if you want in, now is certainly the time. We are presented by PrizePicks. Download the PrizePicks app. Use my code HMA, and if you put $5 in, you'll get $50 instantly in lineups. Since we were talking QBs and we just showed you Geno, take a look at the numbers here for Geno on PrizePicks. The numbers for his passing yards is only 2,600. The number on his touchdown passes is only 14.5. Obviously, you can never predict injuries, but if Geno Smith is healthy, he's going to easily, in my opinion, eclipse both of these marks.
Yeah, I think that's easy money. I'm smashing the over on both of those. I mean, 2,600. I think that Geno, I think his floor is going to be 3,200, and I think that he's going to be right around 19 to 21 touchdowns. So yeah, I think at the last time we talked about it, I think I had him at 21 touchdowns to about 12 interceptions. So I think that's easy money. That's free money, as maniacs. Jump on it.
I mean, come on now. Look, I understand maybe not everyone's in love with bringing Geno back. I get it. It wasn't my first choice. I understand it, but these are just too low, man. Like Geno Smith, jet up. He's going over on both.
Jet up. Let's go.
Let's go. Eugene, we believe. Sam in the Asmaniac raffle for 5. He sent in a super chat. Now he's paying it forward. He's gifting 5 memberships. Let's go.
If I can make it there, I'll make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York. New York. Woo! New York. World champions.
Yeah, Beningo joined me yesterday on the Jake Asman Show. If you're a channel member, the interview is already available for you. I'm doing I'm not doing any live shows tomorrow because I'm going to the Knicks championship parade. So who better than Beningo to be on the show? We'll drop the full episode to the general public tomorrow. 50 minutes of me and Joe B talking Knicks and Jet optimism after Joe finally got to see his Knicks win a championship for the first time in 53 years. So that's coming your way on the channel tomorrow morning in place of a live show. You're still getting a show, but it's 50 minutes of me and Joe B. I'm so happy for the fans like Joe who have experienced so much pain and misery and finally got to see one of their teams win.
Yeah, it's been emotional, man. It's been emotional. I know a lot of people teared up. A lot of people flat out cried. I've never seen so many grown men cry on the timeline. Yeah. So it's for fans like Joe. I think that's what sports, is really about. I mean, I've seen people visiting the mausoleums of family members, unfortunately, that have passed away and have been able to see it. People putting Knicks jerseys on tombstones and popping champagne at grave sites. And again, if there's any Knicks fans listening, don't let anybody diminish what this means to you, man. It's we've suffered a long time. even if you're a newer fan, you still have suffered. If you started watching if you started in the Carmelo Anthony era, if you started in the Porzingis era, it's been tough. For me, I remember I was 10 years old the last time they were when they lost the gentleman sweep to San Antonio. So it was redemption for me. I remember crying because the Knicks lost, and also because I was a huge Patrick Ewing fan. My family's Jamaican as well, so it just felt really good to see Patrick, and he and John Starks are going to get rings. It was amazing. The Monica McNutt and Tyler Call, everything about this run, Jake, was just magical, and it was amazing. So yeah, celebrate this, and I don't care what anybody says. A New York championship after a 53-year drought means a little bit more. Jalen Rose said it only counts for one, but it means a little bit more to us, and I think that we should ride this out until Labor Day. We should be talking about this. I don't care.
I mean, it only counts for one. It's the only thing that matters, man. That's how you keep score. Exactly. It's all about winning a championship, and God, did this fan base certainly deserve it. And hopefully it's some positive vibes for another tortured franchise in this town that I spend sometimes 4+ hours a day discussing year-round, the New York Jets. Knicks champion shirt is our giveaway today. I'm going to include a Knicks playoff towel from one of the games at Madison Square Garden during this historic run. So you're going to win 2 prizes if your name is called on the Wheel of Champions at the end of the show. Mimosa has 10 chances to win. She is gifting not 1, not 5. How about 10 channel memberships to the best community in sports?
Thank you, Mimosa, for your generosity and tremendous support of the Jake Asman Show.
Here are the following 10 listeners who are now channel members thanks to Mimosa's generosity: Chris Moses, Campbell, Damian Pratt, Chubb Bottle Analysis, El Rey Jorge, Illuminati 18, Veronica Phillips, Jeffrey Ricard, DNY for life. Shout out to you, Devin. I know you think I don't like you anymore, but I do still got love for you. Shortback 21, all receiving a gifted membership there from Mimosa, who is a huge Knicks fan.
Yeah, we are the champions. Me and my friends from New York, we love the Knicks.
Parade details on the screen. Get there early. We're meeting up at the Starbucks near City Hall. The address is on the screen there. It's going to be nuts. We'll head to American Whiskey after at some point for the after party, as tomorrow will be a lot of fun for any Asmaniac who's making the trip. We'll do some calls with Omari, so if you want in, now is certainly the time to be a part of the program. Ladies and gentlemen, first up today is Southern Jet on the Gustbuster Umbrella Hotline. Rich, what do you got?
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hey, Rich.
Been a while. Been dealing with my autistic grandson. He's a teenager now, and so you know what that entails. So I've been going over there every day with my daughter. But we've talked personally about it, Jake. You know that. But so that's why I haven't called in. That's why I'm saying that. I've just been dealing with a lot of bad stuff. But congrats to the Knicks. I'm still a Knicks fan. I don't follow as closely as I used to, but I used to be able to go to a lot of the games in 1973, 74 because I had access to the IBM tickets because I worked for IBM, and if they weren't claimed, my mom worked in the executive office, and I worked at 315 Park Avenue South, and so I would just grab them and run up, and get them. It was unreal.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and congrats to, I live down here in Raleigh, as everybody knows now. Congrats to my Hurricanes on their Stanley Cup. Great run. I think it gets Brenda Moore into the Hall of Fame now, but we'll see. He was this close. I don't know if you guys know, but I know a couple people in the organization. He was this close to being the Rangers head coach because when they had his contract negotiations, Tom Dundon's a good owner, but he's a little cheap, and Brenda Moore is one of the lowest paid coaches in the league, and the Rangers made an unbelievable offer. And Brindamore was close to going, but Dundon gave all of his assistant coaches a big raise, and that was enough for Brindamore to stay in Raleigh. But
He'll be a Hall of Famer. Yeah, they're a great team, by the way. They've been knocking on the door for a while, and they finally broke through.
You're right, Jake. It just shows you. You know why it's the hardest thing to win? Injuries. They've been knocking on the door, but they've always had one or two major injuries that popped up during the game, which is going to happen to teams when you're playing all these series. But they got lucky this year. They had 0 injuries except to Freddie Anderson at the end there, which I think turned the series. I think if he doesn't get hurt, Vegas maybe wins that series, and Bussey comes in. People forget that Bussey was the starting goaltender for the Hurricanes starting in the halfway through the season. He took over for Anderson, who was having a bad year. Bussey was the starter, so he actually, and what did he do? He came in and he won 3 games in a row, right? So other than that, I agree, Omari. Quarterback really need to. My philosophy is this. Let's say I'm going to always, as a fan, like Jake has said, be rooting for them and hope that some miracles happen and we're in the wild card hunt and all that crap. But I want a backup quarterback, and I'm not talking about 5-6 games. That's a given when you say you want a quarterback to play. You prepare them all week. I want a quarterback who's played enough in the NFL and proven himself. I don't care if he's 38 years old, that if Geno gets concussed during a game, has the poise not to panic and come in. And I don't know anybody on the Jet roster right now that you can say that about. They're going to be they're going to be jittery. They're going to be a little nervous. I want the guy who's played enough in the league who can say, okay, I got to go in, second half, maybe play the following week. I want a guy like that. I really wanted Bridgewater, but he signed 3 days ago, Omari, with Detroit. Bridgewater to me was the best free agent left. And I don't know why the Jets didn't take a pass at him. He would have fit perfectly for the Jets.
I looked at it differently, Rich, because I don't think this team is going anywhere this year. So I'm fine if they went with Klubnik. So at least we get an evaluation of him. Now, Aaron Glenn's trying to save his job, so he probably wants more assurances if something were to happen to Geno.
That's where I was coming from, Jake. Yeah,
of course. I just Klubnik could win the job. I think the problem is he's not playing right now. Like, I understand that it's minor, but still these reps matter, because if he looked good in minicamp, I think they'd be less hesitant to add a Cooper Rush or someone like that before training camp.
I'm trying not to say that I think we're going to only win 4 to 6 games, Jake. I'm trying to be positive.
Yeah.
So I'm saying in the scenario that Glenn is in, Muji and Glenn, are they thinking, like Omari was saying, that we need somebody with a little more gravitas in there? I don't want to give up a lot. Trust me. I'm talking about if you can get somebody for, 6th round pick or something, that another team, at the end of training camp, all these teams come down to it. And if they've, got some decent quarterbacks, they're going to dump that veteran who's making a little bit more money than the 3rd string rookie they picked up. That happens all the time. So there'll be some people that you can even pick up for free at the end. Other than that, my question to Omari mainly is, say you're Muji for between now and start of the season. I'm not talking about big pickups or big trades. I'm talking about depth pickups. What areas of the team, what positions, what 2 to 3 positions do you think the Jets Muji should focus on solidifying depth backup?
All right, for me, it's going to be running back 2. And we've talked about this. I would just say, because you're a Breece Hall injury away from giving significant snaps to Brown Allen, who's, coming off of an injury, and Isaiah Davis, who's more of a, short-term change of pace back. I would say linebacker, because again, if Demario Davis gets injured, we're putting Jamie Sherwood right back in a position where he has to get people into position And again, I think that the reason that I'm high on Sherwood is because we're taking away those green dot responsibilities so he can play faster. And then you can I'm always a draft a lineman every year. Interior O line again, because I think that the starting five stayed relatively healthy last year, but again, I don't think you could bank on that. I think last year was more of an aberration than what we can expect. Hopefully, we can have back-to-back years of keeping the same starting five. But again, you have to think that one of those guys are going to miss. So again, I know they got Inez Cooper, but again, he's a 6th-rounder. So I would say running back to interior O-line depth, and then obviously, linebacker, even though I do know they're going to be in nickel for a significant portion of the time.
Thank you. And because of the position I've been in the last month or two, haven't been able to pay much attention. What's been going on with the Indiana receiver? We drafted. Has he had a decent camp?
There's been moments we've read about.
There's been moments. Yeah. I think he had one of the highlight plays. Gino was able to fit in a pass to him in a tight window. And again, he's going to have to, don't be alarmed if he's not getting first team reps early on in camp, because they want competition. But Omar Cooper, I think he's gonna, we're gonna have to be a little bit patient with Kenyon Sadiq and Omar Cooper, because they do have veterans ahead of them that are gonna take a larger share of the reps. But I think that towards mid-season and definitely towards the end of the season, that's when we're really gonna see Omar Cooper emerge. And I think that we're going to hear positive things out of training camp, but don't be alarmed. And this is you and fans, because if he's running with the 2s or even the 3s early on.
I asked because I think slot's going to be one of the most important positions for the Jets this year, because if AD comes through and is truly able to be the deep threat, the guy who runs down the sideline and draws the box towards him a little bit for a split second, which is all you really want, and then you got Garrett, who's your mid-range guy with his yak ability, scaring people. The slot's going to be somewhat a little more open than it has been in the past, and I want to get it's always the safety valve thing. I want to get the yak, I think there's going to be a lot of yak available in that part of the field, is my point. And who do you predict will be the starting slot? Sadiq or Cooper or?
If I had to go today, I would probably go with Sadiq. I think they drafted Sadiq, and I think he's going to be the X factor. But again, and you're right. You're spot on with your thought process. I would say the middle of the field, they're going to be able to manipulate the middle of the field because they have Mason Taylor. They're going to have Kenyon Sadiq, and then they're also going to have Omar Cooper. So I think early on we might see Sadiq because they're looking at him as an X factor. He's going to be the H back. He's going to be the Y. He's going to be also the H, the Y. So they're going to move him around a lot too. So I think a lot of those guys are going to get an opportunity. And Garrett is also going to be in the slot a ton as well.
Oh yeah, they'll move him there. But like I said, I think AD is the key if he can come through, because people don't realize how important respect for the long guy is, because it does draw a half-second move from the safety in the corner before they realize they're not going there. And respect is needed at that position, and we haven't had that in a while. And what it does is it opens up the field, like you just said. So thanks, I appreciate the input.
Good call, Rich. Good to hear from you.
Great call.
Hope you're doing well. Open phone lines. Last call to get in on the show. Omari Brown hanging out with us here. A lot of talk about AD Mitchell, Omari. I know we're all excited about Cooper, but here's AD Mitchell, who's been seemingly every time the media has been out at camp making plays. People have been gushing about what AD has brought to the table. And the fact that they got him as an essential throw-in in the Sauce deal. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but I am excited to see what AD Mitchell could potentially do with a full season with the Jets.
Yeah, so am I. He's all the highlights, and again, I reposted one of their highlights. It was like, listen, prove me wrong, because right now I think that people are a little too high and optimistic on AD. But again, his skill set. We talked about this offline, Jake. That's what they're missing. You need that prototypical X that can, stretch the field and go. Listen, you throw it up, he's either going to come down with it. It's going to be an interception that's basically a punt, or it's going to be pass interference. And the Jets just haven't had that dynamic in a while. And they also haven't had a quarterback that wants to take those chances. Because even when Rodgers was here, it seems like Rodgers he just didn't want to take as many chances as we saw him. He was trying to protect his, touchdown to interception rate. So Geno's going to throw the ball up. And that's one thing. You have to give these athletes, an opportunity to go, bring those catches in. So, yeah, man, I think that if AD Mitchell can if he can provide you, however many, we'll call it 44 receptions on 800 yards receiving, I think that takes the Jets offense to a completely different level. And you and I have talked about this. The main issue is to take some of that attention away from Garrett Wilson so he can really put himself into that upper echelon where I think he can be an all-pro. So, yeah, if AD Mitchell can hit, I think that the Jets can really stress the defense, which they haven't been able to do over the last few years. Yeah, and he got his feet in too. That was pretty.
This was the play that apparently was making all the ways at minicamp yesterday. A bunch of the reporters saying this was Geno's best pass of the day. Tight window, AD Mitchell, unbelievable toe tap catch in the back of the end zone there during 7-on-7s. He's talented, man. There's a reason why this guy was thought to be maybe a first-round pick. He slips to the second round. I'm excited to see what he could do potentially. This was Geno Smith talking about AD Mitchell yesterday when he spoke with reporters after the Jets had their latest minicamp practice.
AD is a great young talent, and he's a super hard worker. And, AD and I, we've made some plays on the field, but all of those guys, just the way that we work and prepare, I'm really happy about that. And I'm really excited about AD, man. I think he's going to be a special player for a long time. He's obviously got the talent, but what people might not see is the way that he works, the way that he studies, and just the type of teammate that he is. He's a great teammate, and I think that goes a long way. I'm really excited for him, but also the entire, receiver and tight end group, the entire skill group. I think we got some great players.
I mean, they got weapons, man. Like, again, if you remove Jets from the helmet and just look at the talent, there's good players on this team on that side of the ball.
Yeah, if you put the supporting cast on the Giants, everyone will be extremely bullish on them. So that's why I just think, and this is just us being objective. We're not even talking from a fan standpoint. The talent level has risen, especially on the offensive side of the ball. So with marginal QB play, it should be an exponential improvement as it was to last year. And all this does, man, all it does is it's going to make us look right about how we feel about Garrett and how we even feel about Brees. So again, there's a plethora of weapons. We just need somebody to deliver the ball. And hopefully Geno's the guy that can just steady the ship. All this sounds great right now, but if AD's doing this in joint practices that they have, if AD's doing this in the preseason or the snaps and it's on 11-on-11, that's when I'll start to get excited.
Here's Geno on his excitement.
This spring has been tremendously awesome for all of us. There's been a lot of great work being put in by the players, the coaches, and everybody in the building. And, there's a lot to be excited for. There's really a lot to be excited for. And I think the guys are in a good place. I'm in a good place. And we just got to keep working and, keep getting better every single day.
I mean, again, teams come out of nowhere every year in the NFL. It's seemingly never the Jets, but if you believe in due, we are certainly due for a season that, I don't know, doesn't end in September. Play some meaningful games into November and December. The last time the Jets did that was the 2022 season when they were 6-3 and 7-4 before it fell apart. And while that sucked at the end of the year, at least we had a season. We were fake good for half the year. There were meaningful wins that we could point to that we still reference years later. I mean, God, it's the NFL. You're not supposed to be bad every single year. You're supposed to be able to surprise. You're supposed to be able to, accidentally win 9 games like the Giants did with Daniel Jones and make the playoffs a few years back. Like that happens. That's normal.
Yeah, the NFL is set up to not be bad. It's set up, it's a parity league. So, the Jets, I feel like the Jets and some of these other organizations, you have to go out of your way to be as bad as some of them are. So hopefully the tide has turned. Listen, we just broke a 53-year drought. So a 15-year playoff drought isn't, that doesn't seem like such a tall task when you think about it. So again, man, I think that, it's okay to be, optimistic right now, but they still have a long way to go. But, the foundation seems to be taking shape. and the foundation is needed to be repaired, patched up, and, even knocked down and then rebuilt again. So hopefully this foundation will last a little bit longer for our sakes. And listen, I would love to be on this show, and I'm sure Jake would love to be on this show talking about must-win games around Thanksgiving. So, let's put that into the air, and hopefully the football gods deliver.
No night games, Omari. So if the Jets want to play a primetime game, they got to earn their way. I think every Jet fan would be thrilled if you fast forward to December, January, and the Jets somehow have a game that's in primetime.
Yeah. Listen, man, you got to earn that, and I love that there's no that there's no primetime games. The Jets haven't been good in primetime. And, let's save us a little bit of, potential embarrassment. Let's handle our business early Sunday afternoon so we can start talking about it Sunday night and Monday morning and Monday evening.
Amen. Omari, I appreciate you hopping on, my friend. This was a lot of fun. Always great insight.
Always, man. I appreciate it. Thanks again for having me on. Hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, man.
Amen. Omari Brown joining us there from now Jet X. Omari, of course, one of the awesome Jet content creators, reporters, super fans that will be joining us at Gangrene Beach Club, which now includes Wayne Corbett.
Here we go. Don't miss out on the biggest and best meetup of the year. Saturday, July 11th, Atlantic City, New Jersey. HQ2 Beach Club. We're taking over, baby. At 12 p.m., it's the Gangrene Beach Club. Hosted by some of your favorites. Jake Asman, Rich Samini, Brandon Tierney, Fireman Ed, Connor Hughes, Antoine Staley, Brian Costello, Ryan Sampson, Zach Rosenblatt, Will Parkinson, Frankie V, Omari Brown, Matt O'Leary, Green Bean, Ryan Delaney, Richie Marula, Robbie Sabo, Dom C, Joe Blewett, Nick Faria, Paul Boy Green Esden Jr., Bree Martinez, Nick Shine, Tyson Roush, plus a special appearance by Gangrene legend Wayne Corbett. Get your tickets now. Must be 21 or older. Host subject to change.
Again, Wayne will not be in a Speedo. Don't worry. All right. That's only going to be his co-host on the Underdog Pod, Robbie Sabo. Maybe Samini and BT as well. Jets Collective live today, 3 p.m. Get ready. It's going down. We're going to be talking about the latest from minicamp. Jets are going to be on the practice field in a little while. Aaron Glenn is going to speak again coming up. So I'm going to carry Glenn live since we're only doing one live Jake Asman show today. Also want to hear from you on the phones. All right. Click the Gusbuster Umbrella hotline link, which is pinned in the live chat. For those of you who don't know what that means, it means look at the sidebar and you'll see. Here's our thumbnail today for the Jet Collective. In fact, we hit over 4,000 subscribers on that channel, which is just an awesome number and a big testament to how great the Jet community is. Just posted the Jets Collective YouTube channel link for everyone to subscribe to if they haven't done so already. All right, open phone lines for anyone who wants in on the conversation. Keep the show rolling with some calls or super chats. This one is from Izzy. Thanks, Izzy. He says, quote, "We know AD's cooking with Geno in practice, but how's Garrett looking? Also trying to get in on the raffle. Let's go." Izzy, you were in for two. Garrett's been Garrett. Garrett has talked about how awesome it's been to play with Geno so far. Garrett's talked about the excitement he has for the season, how much he appreciates playing football because he didn't play a lot last year with the injury. So I think Garrett Wilson is set up to have a big season. He's going to be the focal point of the offense, and I think the Jets actually have enough weapons next to Garrett where you can't just double Garrett and try and take him out of the game. I think the Jets can make you pay if you try and go about it that way. It's encouraging about AD, though, because think about what a win that is from a Jet lens if they actually got real production from AD Mitchell. I'm not even saying he's a number two. If he's a solid 3 and you have Sadiq and Cooper to go with Garrett Wilson, Mason Taylor, Breece Hall, like that's an offense. Someone could be successful with that offense if you have any semblance of offensive coaching and Geno is not completely washed, and I don't think he is. So I'm encouraged. Brian says, if the Jets win the Super Bowl, I probably will never, ever watch another game in my life. I could die in peace. Nothing would hurt as much after that, you know? It'd be like, because I finally saw them win. Unbelievable. Parade tomorrow for the Knicks. Fireman Ed's going to be there. I was texting with Ed earlier today. Last call to get in on the show. Abu Jacob writes in, Jake, I'm not trying to sound negative on our Knicks because the team brought me such happiness, but would you trade Town/Deuce and picks for Giannis? No. The Giannis stuff that ship has sailed. Keep this team together, man. See how they play for each other? The camaraderie, the chemistry they have. You don't want to start all over again. You don't break up this team. You let them keep going. They're in their prime, all of them right now. Nah, you don't do anything like that. You keep this team together. You try and bring back Mitch and Shamet if you can. They'll probably lose Shamet. We'll see. Someone will pay him. But I wouldn't. I think that chip has sailed. And by the way, I don't even think if the Celtics got Giannis, that makes them better. If they got to trade Jaylen Brown. Hit the like button. Stack makes a good point. There's 179 people watching live and only 79 likes. The math is not mathing. So click the thumbs up button if you haven't. That helps the channel grow. The Lane Train's in the house. He says, how do you feel about the Jets? I'm hoping that the Knicks energy can help the Jets, Lane.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Thank you, Aaron. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline is where we are headed. We're standing by is a man we call the Rooster.
Everything tastes better when you're a champion.
I couldn't agree more.
I mean, everything.
The bacon, egg, and cheese or the Brunson egg and cheese has never been so sweet.
My wife cooked some slop last night that I felt like throwing through the window. You know what I told her? It tastes unbelievable. Like a championship meal. First of all, I got one call out to this clown on Get Up, Vincent Brown, whoever he is, who is telling me now.
Vincent Goodwill. I saw this.
Okay, whatever. We have to validate this championship. I thought Alan Hahn was going to reach over the table and throw him through a wall.
That was
it's
one of the
clickbait.
dumbest things I've ever heard.
It has to be clickbait, right? I mean, what are you talking about? Now I got to win 2 championships so that one doesn't matter. It was so infuriating that you shouldn't be allowed on TV ever again. It makes no sense. Absolutely 0 sense. Great. Just a quick soccer shout out. Yesterday was a ridiculous day when Mbappe gets 2 goals, that dude who looks like Shrek Holland gets 2 goals, and then the greatest, that Messi puts 3 in last night. It was truly unbelievable watching Lionel Messi. Is really, if you don't, guys, I know it's soccer. Lionel Messi this guy's unbelievable. So one quick bet today. Bruno Fernandes in the Portugal game will have an assist. This guy's the greatest passer in football history. You get 220 for it. Bruno will find an assist today. That's all he likes to do is pass the ball. So quick soccer play for everybody. I think we're underplaying Sorsby a little, Jake. I will say I heard on Get Up, these football players are like, no, get this guy out of here. I don't trust him. He gambled. Listen, I'm the biggest gambler. I don't play sports, okay? This guy was gambling on his own team. That is Black Sox bad. And people are, and the other thing someone said is, the NFL doesn't have to have a supplemental draft. I mean, they might look at this guy and be like, wait a minute, this guy's gambling on his own team. There's so much headaches with Sorsby. It's a shame because he is a good player. I mean, this is not just, okay, 4th round pick. This is a guy that someone in the locker room might just punch him in the face. I mean, that's how bad it is when you gamble on your own team. It's one thing if you're placing bets on another sport. This dude was popping bets on his own team, on the unders.
So I don't know the extent of what he specifically was betting on with his own team. I do know this, Rooster. This needs to be really vetted to see if all right, he clearly had a gambling problem. He went to rehab. Has he been rehabilitated. He's going to do a pro day I saw on July 10th, assuming he's approved for the supplemental draft. Like, you got to evaluate the person, the character. You got to talk to people that knew him at Indiana, that knew him at Cincinnati. What type of guy is he? What type of leader is he? Because there's a difference in playing quarterback in the New York market versus being the backup to Patrick Mahomes in Kansas City.
Yes.
You know, there's a lot. There's a big difference in that.
And again, you know, the character and guess with Brunson and everything. I know it's tainting everything I think about right now, but we just need that guy to lead.
They're throwing out the first pitch tonight. Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson throwing out the first pitch at Yankee Stadium later.
Yeah, man, let him pitch it in. He'd probably get a couple outs. He's just such a winner. Ben Rice, don't move him to catcher really quick. Don't mess with him. I know you want to squeeze guys around and get bats in. Someone said don't ever move him to catcher. The guy, I don't want to weaken his bat any which way if he's catching every day. Leave him at first base. Go out and trade for a catcher. I mean, how can you mess with Ben Rice right now? This guy's unbelievable.
I agree. How great has Goldschmidt been, man? That guy's a Hall of Famer.
Unbelievable.
Professional. Like, you talk about a guy that just, like, is just a winner, just all around solid baseball player. Like, Paul Goldschmidt could play for my team. I don't care how old he is. That guy is just an awesome player.
And as far as the Knicks, I agree with you. I'm not even thinking about anything Knicks now until after the parade. Then I will discuss a few thoughts on how we keep this thing going. Enjoy the parade. I went 96. I almost got smushed that year. I was so drunk and I came out of the wrong train station and I'm running around with my friends. I don't even know how close I got when the Yankees won. It was incredible. The parade days have passed me by right now, but I will be watching at home and enjoying it. It is great. This coffee's great. This fruit salad, which I whipped down, that was great too. We are champions. And Vincent, whatever your name, I won't even give you your last name. Go away. Go away. What are you talking about? What are you, Brunson Curry? What are you talking about? Every series, well, they got to beat Mitchell. Well, and then there's San Antonio, the West, the East is weak. And now we got to win 2. And when we win next year, this guy will stand up and say, I got to win 3. So to quote Al Goldstein from Midnight Blue, F you, Vincent Goodwill. Jake, go get him, baby. Woo!
This was the take from Vincent Goodwill yesterday on Get Up. It's one of the dumbest takes in the history of the spoken word.
I'd like to know that greatness is validated. How do we know that any of the last 8 champions are actually validated because they have not done it again? Giannis is itching to get out. Boston is thinking about trading Jaylen Brown. They don't believe in their one championship. LeBron's one championship in LA was not enough. So why would it be enough for us?
Validate is the Larry O'Brien that I put on that shelf and stays there forever. That's the validation. The Laker thing.
Oh, you mean participation trophy then?
I'm sorry. Larry O'Brien is a participation trophy?
If everybody gets one.
It is an actual trophy. You won the league that year.
I'd like to know that greatness is validated.
Again, listen.
How do we know that any of the last 8 champions are actually validated because they have not done it again?
Because they won. It's hard to win. He just called the Larry O'Brien trophy, the signature trophy in the sport, a participation trophy. There's just no way this man believes this. And Alan Hahn was ready to throw him through a table. Good job by Alan.
Giannis is itching to get out. Boston is thinking about trading Jaylen Brown. They don't believe in their one championship. LeBron's one championship in LA was not enough. So why would it be enough for us?
Validate is the Larry O'Brien that I put on that shelf and stays there forever. That's the validation. The Laker thing.
Oh, you mean participation trophy then?
I'm sorry. Larry O'Brien is a participation trophy?
If everybody gets one.
It is an actual trophy.
What are we talking about? Again, that is among the dumbest takes you'll ever hear in the history of the spoken language. Hey, shout out to B. Waynen. He became a channel member earlier, upgraded his membership, a super Asmaniac. It's 2 raffle entries right there. Thank you, B. Waynen.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
Appreciate you. A couple calls left. Appreciate you guys keeping the show rolling. But let me shout out one of the OGs, Frank P. in the house, gifting 10 channel memberships to the best community in sports.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Who? We got some dogs on this team, baby.
Here are the 10 people who are now channel members thanks to Frank P., Tracy Makey, B. Hyde, Charles Saunders, Surgeon Rock, Bad Shaw Man, Asia Roberson, Kay Ballard, Denise 14, Una Shamed, Mike T 340, all receiving a gifted membership there from Frank P.
Go New York, go New York, go! Go New York, go New York, go!
More calls right now. Dirty in the truck is next. What's up, Dirty?
Jake, how are you, sir? I'm very excited as a New York fan. You don't hear me talk about the Knicks a lot because I don't watch much basketball, but I still understand the game. I still understand watching the sport. It was an amazing series. They did absolutely tremendous. I think this is going to carry everything into the Yankees. Not so much the Mets. The Mets are just terrible this year, unfortunately. But good for Brunson and Towns throwing out the first pitch tonight. And look, it's just electrifying. There was no way that they were going to come back without winning or without having the championship already done. The finals already done. They came back from a 29-point deficit. They were absolutely amazing on their comebacks. They were getting beat up in that one that they came back into New York, and the rest were absolutely terrible. If you watched it, I mean, they let San Antonio do whatever they wanted to do. I thought it was a money grab, and whoever that dude is, talking Vincent or whatever, that's clickbait. Absolute clickbait. There's no reason why you should be talking any negativity about New York City right now or the New York Knicks and what they have accomplished, because nobody thought that they were going to win the finals this year. So,
well, it's just hilarious to me that he's calling it a participation trophy. Like, what?
Yeah,
they won the championship. And championships, they live forever. That's the point.
Yeah.
They're super hard to win. That's why there's been 8 different champions the last 8 years.
Yeah. So I think you got Rooster all riled up though over there. You know, cockfight, if you will. But what I would say is on the sore speed kind of look of everything. Look, everybody's done some messed up things. You know, the evaluation still needs to be evaluated. The evaluation, and look, he's entering the supplementary draft. So it's like it's gonna happen. Whoever thinks that he's worth the talent, and they think that their psychologists or psychiatry can fix this kid, and he won't do it again, they're going to bet big on him. It's not like he was a slouch. It's not like he's just some kid coming in like, oh, he doesn't know what he's doing. The kid knew how to sling the ball. He knew how to, control the team. He was a general in some sense. So I'm interested to see what will happen, especially with the New York Jets. I don't think that Mooj has made any really bad, like terrible deals to where he is going to give up more than, he's not going to give up the house. I'd be very shocked, though. I will say this. I will be shocked if he gives up a first for something like this. I think he's been very, very smart with using and utilizing his picks to get certain players. So I'd be very interested. And I'm very stoked right now about Braylon Allen doing his thing at 250 pounds. Like, that's an absolute monster. Let's see if we can keep him healthy and just give him goal line carries. That'd be great.
I mean, it will help if they could have long, sustained drives. So then you could use Braylon Allen to help wear down the defense over the course of a game. But that's where you got to move the chains. That's the key.
Yeah. But I haven't been around for a while, so I wanted to check in with you guys. I've been trying to build this brand, so hopefully, I got to catch up on some Jake Asman shows, man. I've been behind, so I had to check in today, though.
Well, welcome back, Dirty. We need all the calls we could get this time of year. It's slow, so only the diehards are tuned in. So I appreciate you making the call.
I got you, man. I got you. So God bless everybody, and I hope everybody has a great, great summer.
Let's go, baby.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
All right, last call to get in the raffle. Again, the prize today is a Knicks NBA Champions shirt. I'll send you a couple options, and you tell me which one you want, and we'll get it ordered for you today if you're the winner. One of the options is the shirt. that I'm wearing. This is a Mitchell and Ness shirt that I bought from the MSG team store on Monday. World champs, baby. World champs. We will see you at the parade tomorrow.
Ese boxeo de más que Jesse Lozada está en Telemundo. Are you ready for 3 o'clock? Because 3 o'clock today, England takes on Croatia live at a local stadium near you. Get ready. Where is he? Go, go, go. As we say, ole, ole, ole. 3 o'clock, England versus Croatia. Get ready because it's time for air football.
Yeah, you know, B, sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
More of your calls right now. Let's say hello on the Gusbuster Umbrella Hotline, too.
Purple Belt Mike, he loves the dark night. He's got a green pool and he jumps right in. Maybe someday he'll get a brown belt, but for now he's just that Purple Belt Mike. Purple Belt Mike, it might be purple, but he can still kick your dirty ass.
Oh, fuck.
Yo, I'm not going to let anyone, especially some dumbass announcer, bring me down or try to say whatever. He's just trying to get clicks. He doesn't believe a word he's saying. I don't even think he understands what a participation trophy is. If the entire league got trophies, that's a participation trophy, but the winner got the trophy. So hop out of here. So all I'm saying about that. But we are New York, and we are champions. We run New York. We are the New York Knicks. That's the remix, baby. That should be the new one because we are champions forever. No matter what anybody says, 2026 will always be the year of the New York Knicks. Let's go. Let's go. Can't wait to celebrate with you tomorrow, brother. Can't wait.
Let's go.
What time you getting there?
Early, 7:30. Maybe earlier.
That's what I'm saying. You think 7:30 is enough?
It might not be, but Lou B will be there probably at like 2 a.m., so I'm relying on him.
So at work, they did a dissemination. They said that it's estimated to be bigger than the Chicago one, and the Chicago one was 5 million people, biggest ever.
Crazy. It's going to be nuts, man. It's going to be a great experience to say we were there.
The news is saying 2.5 million, but that's not, I don't believe that to be real. I believe what my job is telling me. So we'll see. Either way, we're going to be a part of it. We all had a piece in this, and it's just time to celebrate. Let the festivities begin. Time to celebrate, everybody. Let's go Knicks.
There we go, got it.
20 years aged. Let's go Knicks, baby. That is so fucking smooth. Let's go Knicks. Great season. Let's do it all again.
World champions.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
All right, here we go. More of your calls.
Adam is cool, although kind of basic. He claims he's too cool, though often quite basic. He makes great jet points, looks a little basic. Adam is cool, too cool, but basic. Some would say generic.
What a dumb take that was. Participation trophy. Is a gold medal a participation trophy? Because usually a different person wins at every Olympics. Like, what are we talking about?
I wasn't going to mention it, but Rooster brought it up, but I happen to have it ready. I just couldn't believe a man went on ESPN and said that with a straight face.
Yeah, I mean, I think he had the idea of a better point, which is that it is very, very difficult to repeat. So embrace it, enjoy it. It's yours for the year, right? And honestly, repeating is so difficult to do these days in the NBA. And, I think it'd be great, for Knicks fans if they repeated, obviously, but the league's competitive. I mean, the reality is a lot of good teams out there, but there's only one winner. And the winner right now is in New York. So really, really fantastic. Enjoy it. And don't pressure yourselves to prove anything otherwise. Enjoy the parade tomorrow, too. Should be really good.
Bask in the glory of it all, Adam. It's a great day
Absolutely.
to celebrate with friends, family, and total strangers.
And now, as a Celtics fan, if I hear one more Jaylen Brown's going to get traded rumor, I'm going to scream. It's the new Abe Vigoda. Every other month, they talk about trading Jaylen Brown. If Jaylen Brown gets traded, I will come on the show, contrite, and apologize to everybody. There's no way they're ever going to trade Jaylen Brown, ever. He is number one. He is the partner to Tatum, and this is the Tatum and Brown era for the Celtics. They're never going to break up those two. It would be bad. And secondly, Jaylen Brown is the closest thing to social justice is Bill Russell. The look of that would also be bad. So I think in the end, there's no way it's ever going to happen. As tempting as Giannis is, they're going to have to give up other players if they're going to.
I don't think it makes them better by trading him for Giannis.
Well, I think the assets that they could trade for Giannis are not assets that the Bucks want, and I think that's the problem too. Like they can give a package of like Pritchard and White and others, but who cares? This is not a Celtics channel, so I'll lay off. But bottom line is, Jaylen Brown's not going anywhere. And that means that the Celtics will probably be their top competitor, the next top competitor in the East next year, unless Detroit levels up again in their experience, which is possible too. So it's competitive. Bask in the glory. Enjoy the year. It's fun when you're the winner. No one can ever take that away, and no one should ever invalidate it. But I want to talk about Sorsby for a minute. I think that people are gonna point the finger and be like, yeah, Sorsby's bad, blah blah blah. If the Jets gave up a 6th round in the supplemental for Sorsby, is anyone going to really get upset? It's a gamble, right?
But it's going to cost more than a 6th rounder. There's a difference.
Well, let someone else pay that. But like, if we can get him for a 6th round gamble, so to speak, pun intended, fine. We can make up for that with like a trade down of a 4th round pick. So like, honestly, if the skill set's really that good, if they love him that much, they're going to throw their hat in the ring. But I don't think they should. I think in the end it's interesting because who comes back after gambling, right? Because there was that. Who's the wide receiver that had to be suspended for a year for gambling, and he came back, and was he ever really the same since then? I forget who it was, but at any rate, I think the key is Goodell going to immediately put him on the exempt list, even though they're going to entertain him to be in the supplemental draft? Like that'd be kind of weird.
Unclear. We don't know if he will be suspended or not. You think of Calvin Ridley, by the way.
Ridley, that's right. Did he have a good year last year? I know Tennessee was kind of.
Not really.
That might have just been a reflection of Tennessee. But it'd be interesting to see if anyone really does come back from that, if he is going to be on the exempt list. But I still think in the end, 6th rounder, go for it. What's the worst that can happen? A lot of 6th rounders don't make the team.
Correct.
So,
but he's going to go for more than that. So you're never going to get him for a 6th rounder.
What do you think he's going to go for?
Probably a 3rd at least. Maybe a team that doesn't think they're going to be anywhere near the top of the draft would be willing to put a 2 if they really like him and that his character.
I'd be shocked. That'd be very interesting. I'd be shocked to see someone go that high. Like, it'll be interesting if he goes that high in the supplemental. Considering his production wasn't that like superior. It wasn't like he was throwing like 70% completion percentage, anything crazy like that. He would have went into the draft otherwise.
Yeah, but he's got traits of a 1st round guy that you could get for maybe a 2nd or a 3rd.
Yeah,
that's how teams look at it. That's what teams draft. You're projecting with him. That's all this is.
Yeah, poor Zach Wilson. The traits.
We know how that goes. Good call, Adam.
See ya.
Go Knicks. Go Knicks.
All right, raffles coming up for the Knicks championship shirt and playoff towel. Today's closer is Jason in Jerusalem. Hello, Jason.
Hey, Jake. Enjoy the parade, man.
Thanks, man. I'm looking forward to being there and experiencing it. I didn't go to the Yankees 1-09, so this will be my first parade for any of my teams.
Yeah, it's nice how they could fit it in between the World Cup games that are in the New York area.
Haven't really been impacted by the World Cup because yesterday the France game was at 3 and I was nowhere near MetLife or any of the buses or the trains that were taking people there.
I just thought it was funny. I just looked it up that there's a possibility of U.S. versus England on July 4th.
Really? That'd be funny.
That would be funny. Talk about like a game you can't lose.
You're not wrong.
Anyway, couple things. One, I see that the UFL season has ended and teams are signing players. I really thought the Jets would follow in the Lions' footsteps and try to find a kicker from, pluck a UFL kicker.
I do think that's a possibility. I think they're going to probably go into training camp with the competition being Sanders versus Cade York, and they'll add someone to it as well.
All right. And as for Sorsby, a couple things on this. One, I agree with Adam. Like, if the Jets offered a sixth, I don't think they'll get him for a sixth, but if they offered a sixth, I'd be fine with that. But one, a guy doing any rehab, a guy doing a 45-day stint in a rehab and thinking that he's rehabilitated, there's a reason it's called recovery and not recovered, because it's a constant battle. And I don't know that the New York media market would be great for somebody in this situation. I've actually spoken to somebody on the Ohio State team who was a teammate of Art Schlichter, and he believes that they threw that after the fact. He says to me, he goes, I bet you he threw the final game. I think it was the Cotton Bowl. And do you want to have teammates that if you throw a bad interception, start questioning whether your heart's in the game or whether you're throwing it type thing?
It's all going to be a part of the evaluation, right? Because first incomplete he throws, there'll be people making a joke. Oh, he bet on the first drive to be a 3-and-out. Like, it just, I don't think the Jets are going to do it. I think they have positioned themselves to get their guy in 27. They're going to try and win as many games with Geno to get there. I'd be surprised. But if they love him and they got him, we got to see how it plays out. Like, you don't not take him if you are playing for 27. Plans change on the fly. You got to be willing to adapt if they like him. But I'd be very surprised.
That's true. But I mean, the risk that you're taking for Muji's first ever QB pick. I mean, I'm not
Depends
talking about
what they
a
gave
late
up.
round.
Like, what if they, I don't think this will happen, but Adam's like, if they gave a sixth and they got him, then all right, that's a different conversation than if he gave a second or a third.
Right. I think he's going to go for a second or a third because, I mean, the guys on ESPN all said, you know, the players said that he has the talent, and teams tend to try to justify the talent as overriding any of the flags here. And there will be a team, whether it be a Detroit to see who they have after Goff, or a Tampa to see who they have after Baker, or even a Carolina because of Young going into his fifth-year option, and say, hey, let us get this guy in the building and see what we could do with him. I think that's a lot of a safer bet. And also, those are teams that are not projected to be towards the top half of the draft.
Again, I think that's the team that probably makes the most sense for Sorsby, rather than a team like the Browns or the Jets or the Cardinals, who probably aren't going to be good and you get their quarterback in 27. If you're the Steelers, the Vikings, the Chiefs, the Chargers, and it's like, you give a third-round pick and we get a long-term backup that could be really good for us, where he doesn't have to play right away, that probably makes the most sense. So good call, Jason. All right, couple shout-outs here before we spin the wheel of champions. Jet Life Angel gifted a membership.
JETS. Yes. All right, let's go.
Yeah. Jet Life, thank you very much. How about this from Top Gun in the raffle for 2? Big party tomorrow, world champs. Nobody could ever take that away from us. To my fellow Knicks fans, don't let nobody take this great feeling away. You waited long enough. Knicks, God bless me, a shirt. You're in the raffle for 2. Yeah, who cares what anyone on Get Up says about validating it? You're a champion. We all watched it. We experienced it. We feel it. Get your diapers ready, baby. This is all you need for the parade tomorrow. Your diaper and your Brunson jersey. That's it. Good luck trying to pee anywhere. You got your diaper ready for tomorrow?
You know, I'm bringing my good friends with me. Hey, Fred Footstone here. Oh, there's Barney Rubble. And you know who we are? We are the Footstones. Yabba dabba dabba doo. So no, Fred, they're trying to get to the champions here. All right, Barn, we'll just
B, sometimes I don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. So is this from B. Waynen. B. Waynen, 10 raffle entry says Wemby is a punk, a dirty hole artist. Let me tell you, you talk about a guy whose reputation took a massive hit during these finals. The golden boy of the NBA, Wemby. Dirty. So dirty. He is someone that was revered by people, and people were exposed to his ways during this run. He is a dirty, dirty player, man. And I believe the league would have had to suspend him for Game 6 if there was a Game 6 last night. truly lost so much respect for that man. Sore loser. And it wasn't even just the Knicks. Throughout these playoffs, if you really look, we saw it. Here's some of Wembanyama's best playoff moments. Just brutal, man. And I get it. He gets beaten up because he's big and takes a beating, but just dirty, man. Like some of this stuff just wasn't called at all. Embarrassing. Look at this. Sore loser. Obviously a great player, but he's got a lot to learn. This was egregious in game 2. I thought game 2 was probably the worst officiated game of any of them, and the Knicks overcame this. And this was the game Wembanyama threw the ball off his own player's backside. Just dirty, man. What is he doing here to OG? Trying to injure him. Dirtbag. Absolute dirtbag. But B. Wayne, incredible gesture. Thank you. I got you in the raffle coming up here for 10 entries. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel. I am counting the raffle names as we're going to give away a Knicks NBA champion shirt. If you win and you don't want the shirt, if you prefer a Jets jersey instead, that is an option for you as well. The Jet players I have available are Namath, Curtis Martin, Nick Mangle, Darrell Revis, Joe Klecko, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, Demario Davis, Gino, and any of the Jets' first-round picks from 2027 or 2026, excuse me. All right, I'm going to finish counting all the raffle names. What I'm going to do right now is play a very short clip, and on the other side, we spin the Wheel of Champions.
See y'all. Never.
The New York Knicks are world champions. Let's go. The comeback Knicks have done it. They are now the champion New York Knicks. This is a championship that will last a lifetime. We may never, ever see something like what we saw from these New York Knicks.
The Knicks are finally NBA champions once again.
And if you are a long-suffering, diehard Knicks fan, this night and this run is for you. Yeah! World champs. Big fella in the raffle for 4. Have a great time at the parade. Be safe. Stay aware of your surroundings. I went when the Yanks beat the Padres. It's great, but be safe. That was 98. Greatest team ever of the modern era, the 98 Yanks. Big fella, you're the man, and you are in the Asmaniac raffle coming up shortly here for 4 entries. All right, folks, all the names have been added to the Wheel of Champions. Someone is going to win a Knicks NBA Finals shirt. Who's going to win? Well, we're going to find out together. Right now, we say hello to a man who always wears a diaper. It doesn't matter if there's a parade or not. He is the master of raffle ceremony.
Hey, Jake, you know who this is? This is Yogi Berra. And I'm Boo Boo. Hey, Boo Boo, how about after the show we go get some picnic baskets and get ready to watch the Yankees and maybe a Yankees game, and also tomorrow watch the Knicks go to the parade.
Yogi, the Rangers not gonna like what we see.
I don't care, Boo Boo. We're gonna do it right now. Bring out the Wheel of Champions because we're gonna get a winner. Are we ready? Yes, we are. At 3, 2, 1. And remember, folks, you vote for Yogi Bear and Boo Boo. Let it rip, boys.
It's time to announce the winners of the weekly Asmaniac raffle. Let's spin the Jake Asman Show Wheel of Champions and find out which Asmaniac is winning an epic prize.
That right there, folks, is why Beast is an all-time great. Incredible. Hit the music. Here we go. Wow. Where do we go from here? Well, first we say thank you to Stack for gifting a membership. Stack, you're in the Asmaniac raffle for one. Good job.
Yeah.
All right, folks, here we go. If you win to claim your prize, email me your name and address, and I will send you some of your shirt-related options. Need your shirt size as well. And if you don't want the Knicks shirt and you prefer a Jets jersey, that's okay as well. You just got to let me know. AsmanJake@gmail.com. All right. Whoever wins, you'll have a piece of history. The winner of the Asmaniac raffle this morning is Nate _ESQ. He gifted 5 earlier. Nate's the winner. Congratulations, Nate.
Oh.
Nate, well done. Reminder, Wayne Corbet's coming to Gangrene Beach Club. Get your tickets now. gangrenebeachclub.com. Parade details tomorrow. For those who want to meet up with your fellow Asmaniacs that will be there, stop by American Whiskey after the fact. It's going to be a fun day. Fun day. Get your diapers ready to roll. We will see you tomorrow. I will see you this afternoon, 3 p.m. start time. Jets Collective. It's going down. Can't wait. Ladies and gentlemen, your Knicks are world champs. And we'll talk to you later today. Like the video. Subscribe to the channel. Join the Patreon. Go Knicks.
Who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out? Don't leave. Who let the dogs out? Don't leave.
Oh, hi. Jake wants me to ask you to click on the like button.
That's right, Lane. And if they don't subscribe to the Jake Asman Show, this team may never win another game. Let's go Jets.